Welcome to Lost at 3 a.m. Put your phone down, close your eyes, and let this be the last video you hear tonight. Relax, breathe, and let's begin. Tonight, we're venturing into the vast and complex world of Westeros, a land where honor clashes with ambition, loyalty is tested by betrayal, and the winds of winter whisper through ancient castles. This is the world of Game of Thrones, a sprawling epic filled with unforgettable characters, shocking twists, and the timeless struggle for power. Based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire novels, the series captured the hearts of millions, becoming one of the most iconic television shows of all time. It's a world where the stakes are high, dragons soar across the sky, and the phrase "winter is coming" carries more weight than it seems. As you listen tonight, let the stories of Westeros guide you into a peaceful sleep. Imagine the cold winds sweeping through the north, the shimmering towers of King's Landing, and the vast expanse of the wall, standing strong against the unknown. Let's begin. The story of Game of Thrones began long before the first episode aired. It all started with George R.R. Martin, a writer whose love of history, mythology, and complex characters inspired him to create the epic fantasy series, A Song of Ice and Fire. Martin's vision for Westeros was shaped by real-world history, particularly the Wars of the Roses, a series of conflicts in 15th century England between the houses of York and Lancaster. These historical events provided the foundation for the rivalries between the great houses of Westeros, like Stark and Lannister. Martin combined this inspiration with his fascination for morally complex characters, crafting a world where no one is entirely good or evil, but everyone has their own motivations and flaws. The leap from page to screen happened when showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss approached Martin with the idea of adapting his books into a television series. Martin famously agreed after asking one key question: who is Jon Snow's mother? Their correct answer convinced him they understood the depth of his story. Game of Thrones premiered on HBO in 2011, bringing Westeros to life with stunning production design, groundbreaking visual effects, and a cast of largely unknown actors who would soon become household names. The show took risks, breaking traditional storytelling rules by killing off key characters, keeping viewers on edge, and ensuring that no one, no matter how beloved, was safe. The series quickly grew into a global phenomenon, celebrated for its intricate plotting, shocking twists, and the sheer scale of its production. But at its heart, Game of Thrones was always about the people of Westeros, their struggles, triumphs, and the choices that would shape their fates. As you close your eyes, imagine the quiet halls of a writer's room, pages filled with ancient maps and handwritten notes, as the story of Westeros begins to take shape. From one writer's imagination to a world watched by millions, the journey had only just begun. The world of Westeros is defined by its great houses, powerful families vying for control, each with their own sigils, words, and legacies. These houses are the backbone of Game of Thrones, their rivalries shaping the fate of the Seven Kingdoms. At the heart of the North is House Stark, known for their honor and resilience. Their sigil is the direwolf, and their words, "Winter is coming," serve as both a warning and a reminder of their preparedness for the harsh realities of life. From their ancestral home of Winterfell, the Starks have long stood as protectors of the North, embodying loyalty and duty. Figures like Eddard, Ned Stark, his courageous daughter Arya, and the quiet, determined Jon Snow became symbols of perseverance and justice. In sharp contrast are the Lannisters, the wealthiest house in Westeros, ruling from the golden halls of Casterly Rock. Their words, "Hear me roar," reflect their confidence and power, but it's their unofficial motto, "A Lannister always pays his debts," that's most remembered. The cunning Tywin Lannister, the charming yet conflicted Tyrion, and the ambitious Cersei represent the complexities of power and family loyalty, often willing to go to any lengths to secure their position. Far to the east lies House Targaryen, a family once synonymous with dragons and conquest. Their words, "Fire and blood," echo their fiery legacy as the former rulers of Westeros. Daenerys Targaryen, the last scion of her house, sought to reclaim the Iron Throne, her journey driven by ideals of justice, though often shadowed by the same destructive ambition that marked her ancestors. In the Riverlands, House Tully stands for family and duty, with their words family, duty, honour reflecting their values. Meanwhile, House Baratheon, with its stag sigil and words ours is the fury, represents strength and rebellion, though their rise to power came with its own share of struggles and betrayals. Then there are the Greyjoys, the Ironborn lords of the Iron Islands, whose motto, "We do not sow," reflects their seafaring, raiding lifestyle. With characters like Theon Greyjoy, the house's story is one of redemption and loyalty tested by personal struggles. These great houses, along with others like House Tyrell and House Martell, weave together the intricate web of alliances and betrayals that define Game of Thrones. Each house brings its own strengths, flaws, and ambitions to the table, creating a world where every choice has weight. As you close your eyes, imagine the banners of these houses fluttering in the wind, the direwolf, the lion, the dragon, all standing against the backdrop of the Seven Kingdoms, each house striving for survival and glory in a world where nothing is ever certain. The Wall, an immense barrier of ice stretching 300 miles across the northern edge of Westeros, is one of the most iconic features of Game of Thrones. It's not just a physical boundary, it's a symbol of protection, sacrifice, and the unknown dangers lurking beyond. Built thousands of years ago, the Wall was said to be the work of Bran the Builder, a legendary figure from the Age of Heroes and founder of House Stark. Constructed with the help of magic and ancient tools, it was designed to keep the White Walkers and their army of the dead from descending upon the realms of men. Rising over 700 feet tall, the Wall is a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the fear of what lies beyond. Defending this frozen frontier is the Night's Watch, a sworn brotherhood of men who dedicate their lives to protecting Westeros from the threats beyond the Wall. Their motto, "Night gathers, and now my watch begins," reflects the gravity of their vow. Members renounce titles, lands, and families, devoting themselves entirely to the watch. From their stronghold at Castle Black, they guard the Wall against both wildlings and the ancient forces of darkness. Jon Snow is one of the most well-known members of the Night's Watch, joining as a young man searching for purpose. His journey reveals the harsh realities of life on the Wall: cold nights, limited resources, and the constant threat of attack. Yet, Jon's time there also shows the bond formed between the Watch's members, regardless of their pasts. Beyond the Wall lies the land of the Free Folk, or Wildlings, led by figures like Mance Rayder and Tormund Giantsbane. These people live outside the rules of Westeros, forging their own paths in the harsh northern wilderness. Initially seen as enemies, they reveal themselves to be complex, brave, and fiercely independent, challenging the rigid views of the Night's Watch. The Wall's true test comes with the return of the White Walkers, ancient, ice-cold beings with the power to raise the dead. Their reappearance reignites old fears and forces even the most skeptical to acknowledge the looming danger. As the Night's Watch and the people of Westeros confront this threat, the Wall becomes more than just a barrier. It becomes the last line of defense for humanity. As you drift off tonight, imagine the icy winds sweeping across the Wall, the faint crackle of fire in the barracks of Castle Black, and the distant howl of wolves in the frozen wilderness. A world on the edge of light and shadow, where courage must rise against the cold. Dragons and magic lie at the heart of Game of Thrones, symbols of power, mystery, and the resurgence of a long-lost era. In the world of Westeros, both dragons and magic had all but disappeared, becoming little more than legends and forgotten whispers, until they began to reawaken, signaling a new and dangerous age. The return of dragons begins with Daenerys Targaryen, the last surviving member of the once great House Targaryen. Her journey starts in exile, far from the Iron Throne her family once ruled. Gifted 3 petrified dragon eggs as a wedding present, The eggs seemed little more than relics of a bygone age. But when Daenerys steps into the flames of her husband's funeral pyre, the impossible happens. The eggs hatch, giving birth to Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. These 3 dragons are the first seen in centuries, marking the rebirth of magic in the world. Dragons are more than just creatures of fire. They are symbols of raw, untamable power. They grow quickly, their flames capable of turning armies to ash and leveling cities. As Daenerys learns to control them, they become both her greatest strength and her heaviest burden. Drogon, the largest and most fearsome of the 3, mirrors her own journey. Wild, powerful, and difficult to control. The reawakening of magic isn't limited to dragons. Across Westeros and beyond, other forms of the supernatural begin to stir. The White Walkers, long thought to be myths, emerge from the frozen lands beyond the wall, bringing with them an unnatural cold and the ability to raise the dead. Their existence challenges the very nature of life and death, reminding the people of Westeros that some dangers cannot be fought with swords alone. Prophecies also play a major role in the series, adding to the mystique of magic. From the prince that was promised to Melisandre's visions in the flames, characters grapple with the weight of destiny, often unsure if they are fulfilling or defying the ancient predictions. These prophecies blur the lines between free will and fate, creating tension as the story unfolds. The resurgence of magic isn't always grand or fiery, it's often subtle, hidden in small moments. Bran Stark's journey to become the Three-Eyed Raven explores the power of sight and time, allowing him to witness the past, present, and future. His ability to warg, or enter the minds of animals and people, reflects the deeper connections in the world of Westeros. Ultimately, dragons and magic serve as reminders of the unpredictable forces that shape the story of Game of Thrones. They are wild, untamed, and often uncontrollable, just like the world they inhabit. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine the crackle of fire as a dragon soars through the sky, the icy breath of a White Walker in the distance, and the quiet hum of ancient magic awakening, filling the world with both wonder and fear. The breathtaking world of Game of Thrones wasn't just brought to life through its storytelling, it was built in the real world, piece by piece, with stunning filming locations and behind-the-scenes creativity that made Westeros feel real. The majestic city of King's Landing, the heart of the Seven Kingdoms, was primarily filmed in Dubrovnik, Croatia. Its medieval walls, narrow streets, and stunning coastline perfectly captured the grandeur and danger of the capital. Walking through its winding alleys, you can almost hear the schemes of Cersei Lannister or the clash of swords during the Battle of Blackwater Bay. For the frozen, untamed lands beyond the wall, the show ventured to Iceland, where the harsh beauty of glaciers, volcanic fields, and snowy landscapes brought the wilderness to life. Scenes of Jon Snow's journey with the Night's Watch and his encounters with the Free Folk were filmed in locations like Thingvellir National Park, giving the wall's northern expanse an otherworldly feel. Winterfell, the ancestral home of the Starks, combined real-world castles and digital effects to create its iconic look. Much of it was filmed at Castle Ward in Northern Ireland, with its stone walls and green surroundings, evoking the Stark family's honour and resilience. The deserts of Daenerys Targaryen's journey were brought to life in Morocco and Spain, where the sweeping sands and vibrant cities captured the essence of Essos. The ancient city of Ait Ben Hadu served as the backdrop for Yunkai and Pentos, while the lush palace gardens of Dawn were filmed in Seville's Alcazar, a real-life masterpiece of Moorish architecture. But the magic wasn't just in the locations, it was in the craftsmanship behind the scenes. Costumes were meticulously designed to reflect each character's personality and journey. The rough furs of the Starks symbolized their connection to the harsh north, while the intricate gowns of the Lannisters echoed their wealth and refinement. Daenerys' evolving wardrobe mirrored her transformation from exiled princess to the mother of dragons. Even the battles, some of the most ambitious ever filmed for television, were feats of coordination and creativity. The Battle of the Bastards, for instance, involved over 500 extras, real horses, and carefully choreographed chaos, resulting in one of the most memorable moments in the series. Every detail, from the real-world settings to the smallest prop, was designed to immerse viewers completely in the world of Westeros. The characters of Game of Thrones are what make Westeros feel so alive. Each one is complex, flawed, and deeply human, making their journeys unforgettable. From heroes to villains, and those who fall somewhere in between, their stories are the beating heart of the series. Jon Snow, the brooding bastard of Winterfell, begins as an outsider longing for purpose. His journey takes him from the icy wall to the political intrigue of the North, and eventually to the center of the fight for humanity. Jon's quiet strength and sense of honor make him a natural leader, even when he doubts himself. He's a reminder that courage doesn't mean the absence of fear, it means acting in spite of it. Arya Stark, the youngest Stark daughter, transforms from a mischievous tomboy into a deadly assassin. Her list of names, whispered each night before she sleeps, is a haunting mantra of vengeance. But Arya's story is also about identity, learning who she is beyond revenge, and finding her place in a world that tried to strip her of everything. Tyrion Lannister, the sharp-tongued outcast of his family, is one of the most beloved characters in the series. Born into wealth, but shunned for his stature, Tyrion uses his wit and intellect to navigate the treacherous world of politics. His ability to survive and thrive despite being underestimated is a testament to the power of cleverness and resilience. Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons, begins as a timid girl sold into marriage, but grows into one of the most powerful figures in the series. Her story is one of liberation, both for herself and for the oppressed. Yet, as her power grows, so does the weight of her choices, leading to moments of triumph and tragedy. Cersei Lannister, one of the most complex villains in the series, is driven by her fierce love for her children and her unrelenting desire for power. Her journey shows the lengths one will go to protect what they love and the cost of letting ambition consume them. Brienne of Tarth, a knight who defies expectations, is the embodiment of honor and loyalty. Ridiculed for her size and strength, she never wavers in her pursuit of justice, proving that true nobility isn't about titles, but about action. And then there's Theon Greyjoy, whose story is one of betrayal, suffering, and redemption. His arc, filled with mistakes and atonement, reminds us that even those who fall far can find their way back to honor. Every character in Game of Thrones has a role to play in the larger story, but their individual journeys are what stay with us. They remind us that even in a world of dragons and White Walkers, it's the choices, struggles, and growth of people that truly matter. At its core, Game of Thrones is a story about power, how it's gained, how it's wielded, and how it shapes those who seek it. The quest for power drives nearly every major character in Westeros, weaving a complex web of politics, betrayal, and ambition. In King's Landing, the game for the Iron Throne is a battle of cunning and ruthlessness. Few play it as skillfully as Cersei Lannister, whose thirst for power is matched only by her unrelenting devotion to her family. From the moment she declares, "When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die," her path is set. One of manipulation, calculated moves, and ultimately, isolation. Littlefinger, or Petyr Baelish, is another master of the political game, always staying 2 steps ahead of his rivals. His motto, "Chaos is a ladder," reveals his strategy: to exploit disorder for his own gain. Yet, his downfall shows the danger of underestimating those he manipulates, as his scheming ultimately leads to his undoing. On the other hand, there's Varys, the Spider, who wields power through secrets and whispers. Unlike Littlefinger, Varys claims his loyalty lies not to himself, but to the realm, serving as a reminder that power isn't always about ambition. It can also be about service. The Northern Lords, led by figures like Robb Stark and later Jon Snow, approach power differently. For them, it's less about personal ambition and more about protecting their people and upholding honor. Yet, even the North isn't immune to betrayal and the devastating consequences of the political game. Across the Narrow Sea, Daenerys Targaryen rises as a symbol of liberation, using her dragons and armies to free the oppressed. Her vision of breaking the wheel, a world where power doesn't crush the powerless, resonates deeply. But as her power grows, so does the weight of her decisions, revealing the fine line between justice and tyranny. The interplay of power in Game of Thrones also explores its cost. Whether it's Ned Stark's integrity leading to his downfall, Stannis Baratheon's ambition blinding him to his humanity, or Jaime Lannister's redemption arc clashing with his loyalty to Cersei, the pursuit of power often leaves devastation in its wake. Ultimately, the series reminds us that power is fleeting. The Iron Throne itself becomes a symbol of this, a seat fought over at great cost, yet ultimately destroyed, proving that true power lies not in crowns or swords, but in unity and compassion. The legacy of Game of Thrones is one of triumph, controversy, and a lasting impact on the way we tell stories. Few television series have captured the global imagination quite like this sprawling epic, with its unforgettable characters, shocking moments, and intricate world-building. When the show premiered in 2011, it immediately stood out for its ambitious storytelling. Game of Thrones didn't follow traditional rules. Heroes weren't guaranteed to win, villains weren't always pure evil, and even beloved characters were not safe from death. This unpredictability, combined with the rich depth of George R.R. Martin's source material, kept audiences hooked season after season. Its cultural influence was monumental. Phrases like "winter is coming" and "you know nothing, Jon Snow" became part of everyday conversation. Characters like Daenerys Targaryen, Tyrion Lannister, and Arya Stark became icons, while the Iron Throne itself became a symbol of power and ambition recognized around the world. The series also set a new standard for production value on television. From the icy landscapes beyond the wall to the fiery chaos of the Battle of the Bastards, each scene was crafted with meticulous attention to detail. The show's battles rivaled those of blockbuster films, and its stunning costumes, intricate sets, and powerful score brought Westeros to life in ways never before seen on TV. Yet, as with any phenomenon, Game of Thrones left behind a legacy of debate. The final season, which aired in 2019, divided fans and critics alike, with many feeling that its rushed pace and character decisions didn't fully honor the complexity of the story. Despite this, the show's impact remains undeniable. Its influence can be seen in the rise of other epic fantasy series, like The Witcher and House of the Dragon. The latter, a prequel exploring the Targaryen dynasty, has reignited fans' love for the world of Westeros, proving that the stories of Game of Thrones are far from over. What makes the legacy of Game of Thrones so enduring is its ability to reflect the complexities of real life. Its themes of power, loyalty, and humanity resonate far beyond the fantasy genre, reminding us that even in a world of dragons and White Walkers, the most compelling stories are about people. As you close your eyes tonight, think of the echoes left behind in the world of Westeros, the quiet ruins of Winterfell, the crumbled Iron Throne, and the enduring memory of the characters who made us laugh, cry, and gasp. Their stories may have ended, but the impact of Game of Thrones will last forever. At its heart, Game of Thrones is a story about humanity, its struggles, its flaws, and its unyielding resilience. Beneath the dragons, battles, and politics lies a tale that speaks to universal truths about loyalty, ambition, and the choices that define us. The show reminds us that power is fleeting and often comes at a cost. From the rise and fall of kings to the destruction of the Iron Throne, Game of Thrones shows that those who chase power for its own sake often lose more than they gain. Characters like Ned Stark, Cersei Lannister, and Daenerys Targaryen reveal the complexities of leadership, each with their strengths and flaws. The theme of family runs deeply through the series. The bonds between the Starks, Lannisters, and Targaryens drive much of the story, showing both the strength and fragility of those connections. Whether it's Arya's determination to reunite with her siblings, or Tyrion's struggle to find his place in his family, Game of Thrones highlights the importance and the pain of loyalty and love. The series also explores the idea of identity, who we are versus who we want to be. Jon Snow's journey as a bastard striving for purpose, Arya's transformation into an assassin, and Jaime Lannister's redemption arc all reflect the human struggle to reconcile our past with the people we hope to become. But perhaps the most enduring theme is hope. Even in a world of betrayal, war, and loss, there are moments of light. Samwell Tarly's quiet courage, Brienne of Tarth's steadfast honor, and Tyrion's clever resilience remind us that even in the darkest times, small acts of kindness and bravery can make a difference. The ending of Game of Thrones may have been divisive, but its impact is undeniable. It taught us that heroes are not always perfect. Villains are not always beyond redemption, and sometimes the most important battles are the ones we fight within ourselves. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine the snow-covered expanse beyond the wall, the roar of dragons soaring through the skies, and the peaceful stillness of Winterfell after the storm has passed. Let the echoes of Westeros remind you that even in chaos, there is strength, resilience, and the enduring hope that a better world is always possible. Thank you for spending your evening with Lost at 3 a.m. Sleep well, and may your dreams carry you to the lands of Westeros, where stories never truly end.